Welcome back to the news at 10. After months of preparation, one of Nigeria's ICT universities is expected to begin operations next month. The multi-campus institution, which will operate from the 6 geopolitical zones, will be managed by professionals trained abroad. The Enugu branch of the university is ready for operation, and the Enugu State Governor is delighted that the institution will contribute its quota to technology development in the country.
Establishing an information communication technology university in Nigeria has been in the works for some time as the federal government aims to keep up with the rapidly changing world of technology. In May 2017, the federal government inaugurated an implementation committee to facilitate ICT universities across the 6 geopolitical zones. The plan is to convert facilities of the Digital Bridge Institute, located in the 6 geopolitical zones, into ICT university campuses. This facility in Enugu was built by the Nigerian Communication Commission between 2010 and 2014 to teach technology skills and bridge the communication gap between Nigeria and the rest of the world. But it's never been used. Facilities in Yola and Asaba have suffered the same fate. However, campuses in Abuja, Lagos and Kano are in full operations. The good news is that all 6 will become ICT universities by September. The government wants work to start as soon as possible, and the ICT Minister, Bayo Shitu, is touring facilities not in use to ensure they are ready. Back at the State House, it's time to get down to business as the federal government shows its eagerness to begin operations next month through a public-private partnership.
All the 6 universities campuses will be taken off the same day. We are not just starting another university in Nigeria. We are starting a functional university which will be ICT in totality. Most of the courses to be offered do not as yet exist in any Nigerian university.
Aside from ICT education, the federal government also plans to diversify the functions of the Nigerian Postal Service for better efficiency. The state governor gives an assurance of supporting both projects.
Enugu State is strategically positioned to partner the federal government in ensuring the success and sustainability of the ICT revolution in Nigeria.
The ICT University will be a multi-campus institution set up to enhance the learning environment and create millions of jobs through a skilled ICT workforce. It's expected to create a huge impact on the economy.
The Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, is of the opinion that crude oil has lost its relevance globally because of innovation in science and technology. He believes the New World Order is unfolding and it indicates the end of the crude oil era. The minister was speaking at the launch of the federal government's 13-year National Science and Technology Innovation Roadmap designed to prepare the country to overtake the rest of the world by 2030.
As the major natural resource of the nation, oil is Nigeria's main source of funding its annual budget. However, as part of a new drive to help diversify the country's economy, on June 28, 2017, the Federal Executive Council approved the National Science, Technology and Innovation Roadmap. At the unveiling of the roadmap in Abuja, the 13-year plan is presented.
The Federal Ministry of Science and Technology has initiated bold and visionary new policies that will help move our economy in the direction of diversification.
The roadmap envisions the creation of 8 general-purpose specialized industrial cities in strategic locations along transport corridors, 6 technology innovation clusters. The development of the nation's raw materials is a key feature in the roadmap. It will span from 2017 through to 2030. 2017 to 2020 is the short term, 2012 to 2025 for the medium term, and 2026 to 2030 for the long term. The budget estimate of the short term is 180 billion naira.
We have put together a novel national strategy for promoting competitiveness in raw materials and materials development in Nigeria. This will help Nigeria conserve her scarce foreign exchange and stimulate global competitiveness that is derived from a resilient domestic capacity in a diversified economy for the good of our people.
As part of its diversification effort, the government ultimately hopes that the roadmap will kickstart the process that will enable Nigeria to become self-reliant in indigenous technology capacity.
Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Wawadu.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. Latest loading programs released today shows that Nigeria's crude oil exports are expected to drop in the month of October. The country's total exports are set to slip possibly to a 5-month low, as export plans for most grades were showing levels of about 1.72 million barrels per day, compared with 1.88 million barrels per day in September. August exports had been on track to exceed 2 million barrels, but the closure of Bonny Light crude pipelines dragged them lower. Nigeria's oil output rebounded earlier this year due to efforts by government to reduce militancy in the Niger Delta region, but frequent illegal activities are limiting output, threatening some oil infrastructure. And talking about illegal activities in the Niger Delta, this has made the region less attractive to investors. And that's according to the General Manager in charge of External Relations at Shell Petroleum Development Company, Mr. Igo Welly, who says that potential investors prefer to put their money in other parts of Nigeria. But just yesterday, the federal government announced a fresh fund of 15 billion naira pulled from the Bank of Industry, the Export-Import Bank, and the new Partnership for Africa Development, all this targeted towards revitalizing the Niger Delta. And on Nigeria's interbank overnight lending rate, it fell sharply to an average of 12% today from around 60% it was a week ago, after the central bank repaid mature treasury bills and a refund of excess cash deposited by banks to buy dollars. The CBN sold a total of 68.79 billion naira worth of treasury bills in its bid to further tighten liquidity in the banking system. CBN sales amounted to 65.5 billion naira of the 363-day open market treasury bills at 18.55% and 3.29 million naira for the 174-day paper at 17.95%. But just yesterday, money market liquidity levels increased after about 168 billion naira was injected into the system by the financial market regulator. Nigeria's equities market showed more resilience today following rebounds across 4 major sectors of the market. Let's join Bisi Adebayo for the details.
Equities at the NSE ended Friday's trading session with a 1.66% increase and an additional 208 billion naira in total market value. The market's second recovery for the week comes on the back of positive performance, mostly from the banking sector, which rose by nearly 4%. At the end of the day's transactions, a total of 236.61 million units of shares worth over 4.8 billion naira changed hands in 3,803 deals. Appetite for GT Bank stocks remained in high demand for 5 sessions this week, but Zenith Bank occupied the top spot on both the activity chart and a list of 26 gainers. Meanwhile, Custodian was the highest among 12 losers. And that's it on Stock Market Reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
As for major world stock markets, they ended the week mostly negative as concerns over U.S. President Donald Trump's sacking of his chief strategist, that's Steve Bannon, and the worst terror attacks seen in Spain for more than 13 years happened yesterday. Let's see the numbers. Thanks for watching Business News Tonight. Have a profitable week ahead. I am Anne Mwawadu. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. The Kwara State government has confirmed a case of Lassa fever in Babanla community of Ifelodun local government area of the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Sulaiman Alege, explains that out of the 5 samples sent to the virology unit of the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, only that of a 10-year-old boy tested positive. An isolation centre has been set up by the state government at the General Hospital, while the state's medical team are already monitoring the patient and those with whom he had contact.
It confirmed to you that one of the samples taken from Babanla Primary Health Care Center in Ifelodun local government is confirmed to be positive of Lassa fever. So just a 10-year-old boy, our medical team from the Department of Public Health is moving there immediately, basically to monitor the situation on ground, to look at the patients, and for people that have had contact with the patients. So also we'll continue to brief you on the happening on ground. As for Oroago axis, the other 3 or 4 samples taken from the Oroago axis is negative. So I have the results with me now. So basically now our team will be moving to Babanla axis for a PHC. We look for the patients, we monitor the patients, and also our isolation center will be created in General Hospital Omoara, which is very close to the place.
As young Nigerian men and women constantly defy the dangers of travelling through the desert and the sea in search of greener pastures, the Danish government wants to help the Edo State government curb illegal migration. After a meeting of both governments in Benin, the Edo State capital, the Danish delegation pledged support for the state government's plans to provide job opportunities and improved access to education for the younger generation.
The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, plays host to august visitors at the Government House in Benin City, the state capital. Please visit us. It's a high-powered delegation from Denmark here on a working visit to the state. The team also includes ministers who intend to assess Edo State government's measures in curbing illegal migration.
And my focus will mainly be what are the root causes for young people leaving Africa, and what can we as development partner do to assist you in also addressing these root causes.
The prevalence of illegal migration is one major challenge the present administration is determined to deal with.
First, from the root cause, which is education. That is of making sure that we offer a good quality education at the basic level, such that these kids haven't gone through basic school can read and write properly and have a chance in life to be able to be useful to themselves and society.
Following a successful meeting, the expectations are high.
The reason for not having a hope for the future is a lack of job. So that's why we, in our development development cooperation policies are having a very strong focus on job creation, growth, etc.
Right now we have a discussion how to return the people who are not right to stay in Denmark, but to make the returns and the reintegration in a good and decent way.
Clearly, there's confidence on both sides that this synergy will produce favorable results.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigerian wrestlers set for the Senior World Championships in France starting Sunday after 2 months of intensive training. That's on sports. Please stay with us.